for joining me today. So, I need to apologize right off the bat. I somehow deleted my blending for the background, and I don't know where it went. So, unfortunately, I don't have that footage. But if you go to my other tutorial for the September soul symbol, it's basically the same. So, you can go and check that out. So what I'm doing now is I'm just putting on a sketch of the flower that I want to put on because September soul symbol is a flower. And my previous one I did was different than this. And I like to do two because I sometimes get a little bit creative and I like to do them for different techniques so you can see how you can do them differently. So what I did was I just made a sketch with my General's charcoal pencil and put it on. I like using the General charcoal pencil because when it comes time to clean it up, if there's anything that's left showing that I haven't painted over, it wipes right off with a damp cloth, or you can use an eraser. And it doesn't put an indent into the paint below, and that's why I like it so much. So, I mean, it's up to you. You can use whatever you want. Pencil works really well, and I'm sure there's many other options that are out there. You do what you feel comfortable with. This is just the way that I do it. So I'm just painting with black paint, just regular matte black paint, and I am leaving a little tiny line between each part of the flower. So this sort of makes each petal different from the other. So I don't have to worry about shading or anything like that. Plus I'm going to be putting on some sparkle on top of the black. So I really want to keep it separated. It's very easy to do. And I do it for all the petals and I do it for the stem. Now I have leaves on there, but I don't use them. You'll see that later. But I end up making it more of a rose type flower, and it turned out really, really pretty. So make sure that you watch right to the end because I do show still photos of the finished product. And after it's had its resin coat, it just looks so beautiful. So yeah, so I just go through and I just paint in all of the little sections of the flower. And like I said, I just leave a very small thin line between each part of the flower, of each petal. And that really sort of separates it so you can see the different pieces of the flower without doing an outline. So I do the same with the stem and the green part that attaches to the flower. I'm not very familiar with what those are called, but if you know, please leave me a comment below and let me know. Um, but it's the part where the flower bloom comes out of. So I'm just painting that on, and again, just in black, and make it so that it's a silhouette. All the colors that I used in this tutorial are listed in the description below. So I've included the brand name and the actual name on the bottle. So if you wanted to, you can do exactly what I've done. But I also encourage you to break outside of the box and do it with your own colors. Yeah, this is a September stone, and the birthstone is Sapphire, so that's why it's the blue color. But if you don't want to do the birthstone, you want a different background color, you know, the limit is the rainbow. So just pick a color and go for it. So here I've made a mistake. So I just used one of my Q-tips that has a wet end, and you can see I've used it before. It's kind of yucky, but and then I used the other end to clean up the excess that's got water, and I just repaint. So, and that's exactly what I did, and you know, it turned out really well. You wouldn't even know that there was a mistake that was there. But what happened was I got too close to the stem when I was putting on these extra green parts of the thing that attaches to the flower. I'm sorry if I was more technical with what the right words were. I'd probably sound better, but I got a little too close, so I had to erase it and then put it back on, and it looks great. Added a couple of thorns, and now I'm just using some white paint to put some bloops on there to give it the illusion that it's shiny, um, and that it's a gem, because that's what it is. So, like I mentioned, September, the birthstone is Sapphire, and this is a soul symbol, which is a flower for September. So, what that means is you are someone who has a very innocent and beautiful heart, and no matter where you go, you spread a lot of happiness and joy. So, that's what the September soul symbol is a flower, and that's the meaning. So once I've done the little light bloops, I'm now putting on some glitter paint. So it goes on kind of milky, but it dries clear and leaves the glitter behind. So it really shines as you move it in light, and it looks amazing. So what I've done is I was very careful to leave a really small bit of the black paint so that I had a frame already there and that the glitter paint was on the inside of the petals. So, very easy to do. If you do get too close or you go over, not a problem. Don't worry about it. Just go back in with some black paint and your fine lining brush, and you can really put an edge on that. You don't even have to do black. If you want to outline it in gold or silver, that's up to you. Just make it your own. Let me know that you like this video by giving me the thumbs up. And if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. And make sure you ring that bell because it'll give you a notification every time I post new content. And trust me, I have a lot of content that I'm excited to get out to you guys. I've had requests, I've had different techniques that I've tried out, and yeah, they're all in the editing stage, but they're on their way. So look out for those. And we still have 3 soul symbols left to do. So October, November, and December. So those will be coming your way as well. I also want to get a couple more tutorials out for you on natural stone. I did a bunch of stone hunting this summer, so I have a lot in stock, so I definitely want to get some of those done. I usually do landscapes on those just because they're so pretty, but I do have a couple of ideas that I want to try out, so hopefully they work out and I can bring those to you as well. It's also craft show season, so I will be really busy on the weekends getting my stuff available for craft shows and things like that. So pay attention to my Facebook page. That's where I will be posting where I will be. If you're in the area, drop by, come in and see me. I am in Northern Ontario, so any of you folks that are far away, I'm sorry I can't meet you in person, but I'll be happy to meet anybody that does come to see what I've got going on. Anyways, so back to my painting here. So I finished up the glitter paint on the flower, I let it dry, and now I'm doing the border. So you saw that I used a template that I placed on top. I received that from the Happy Dotting Company. Her Etsy shop is listed in the description below, so I urge you to go and check her out. She's got tons of stuff. Great for casting your own stones in different shapes, different sizes, as well as these really awesome silicone mats that you put on, and you can do your little ticks around it so that you can get a nice even border. So I did a large gold dot for every other tick, and I did that all the way around. And now I'm putting on some of that metallic blue sapphire, that new paint that I've received, and putting small micro dots around that gold dot. So I did a close up here so that you could see exactly how small these dots are. And yeah, they are very, very small, but they really add to that border to give that kind of a lacy effect. So I did this all the way around the large gold dots, and then I did a second row of walking the dots with gold paint so that it sort of brings that gold center dot down as into the border. So basically, walking the dots, if you haven't heard me say this before, I'll just go through it with you one more time here. So I load my tool with the paint and I dab it on the center at the bottom, and then I don't reload my paint and I just walk the dots up. And as you walk up, the dots become smaller because there's less paint on your tool. So then what I do is when I go to do the other side is I reload my tool and I redot that center dot and walk up the other side. So this way you get nice even dots on either side, plus that center dot at the bottom is going to be larger than the other one. So that's why I do it, and that's how you can do it. So now I'm going through the in-between ticks that I haven't put a gold dot on. I'm putting a smaller gold dot on, and I'm attaching it to the gold border around the gemstone. And I do this all the way around. And now I'm going to be doing some teardrop swipes, or at least that's what I call them. I don't know what the actual name is, but I'm again using that sapphire color just to draw in the whole birthstone color. And it's so pretty. It's one of my new favorites, along with this gold is a new gold. It's called Glorious Gold. All of the colors are listed in the description below, like I said. So I do a double load of the dot. So I put on a dot of paint and then I dot it again after I reload. So I get two dots, so I have excess paint that I can drag. And I use a really small stylus to drag that dot. Some people use dotting needles. You can use a toothpick, whatever you have available. But just draw it up so that it meets the gold dot and appears look like it's a teardrop. So then I go back with the gold paint and I'm doing the same thing, but this time I'm doing it on either side of that blue dot or blue swipe, teardrop, whatever it's called. So I do that on either side of the blue because I'm trying to sort of make like a curve so that it draws your eye back to the center, which is the focal point of the flower in the center of the gemstone. So that's why I'm doing the border this way. I will show you a close-up as well on this so that you can see just how it's done. So you put on a dot, load your tool again, and then put another dot on the other side. Most of the time they will be the same size, but if not, just reload and just don't apply as much pressure and you'll end up getting the same size dots. So I do this all the way around, and again using my little stylus to pull the paint down to make a teardrop shape. And I try not to touch the blue or the gold bigger dot, I guess, at the top, because I want that black to shine through so that it appears to be like a border or that it's been outlined. So that's why I do it this way. It does take a lot of patience and some practice. It took me a little while, and I'm still not perfect, but that's why art is art. It's not perfect. It's not supposed to be. So now what I'm doing is I'm just finishing it off with 3 of the sapphire metallic paint dots that go up, and I'm just walking them. So 1, 2, 3, and that's it. I do that all the way around, and then it's ready for resin. And don't forget to erase all of the lines that are still on your stone, because once you've resined, they're there forever, and you don't want that. So there you have it, folks. Life is what you make it, so get creative.